Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.
Good morning. Good health. Why am I saying good morning? I know better. Good health, everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know I am looking for something. I've got all these highlighters, and when I need it, I can't find it. So I'm just going to use a green one today. Or purple. I'll use a purple one today. It's fine. How is everyone doing today? Let me say hello to anyone that has come through. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Angela. Both moderators are on. Hi, guys. And how are you today? And thank you for coming on. Oh, let me change this color. That's what I meant to do. I was looking for the... Oops, did I get the bell? Do with the bell. I took the... Oh, my goodness. Let me change the color. The color is too vibrant for Sunday. It's just too vibrant. I can't take it. Let me see that. Nope. You know, I love blue. Actually, I like this green too. This is perfect. How is everyone doing today? I just had my bell. I just lost my bell. Let me go find my bell. Just had it. Oh, here it is. It's behind the computer. Alrighty now. I'm gonna make some coffee while we talk. You guys let me know, how is your Sunday? Okay. How is your Sunday going? Are you feeling good today? Don't pretend. It's okay not to feel good too. It's okay to feel awkward, uncomfortable. It's okay to feel sad. Right? Give yourself permission to just feel. We don't give ourselves permission to just feel happy or feel like crying or feel sad. Sometimes we think we have to be strong, but we don't. That's a misnomer. To be strong, to want to be strong, like it's silly. Let's see the comments. Hi, Eccentric. How are you? Good health. All right. I went to run out to get some sweetener, and they didn't have my brand, which is a little upsetting. I have something to substitute it, but it's a little upsetting when you have a particular brand. All right, send me a link, Eccentric. Send me a link on your YouTube channel. Today we are moving on to chapter 4 in the book. We are going to be moving on to chapter 4 in the book. course yes, eccentric today is spiritual. So today we're not going to talk about celebrities, right? This is the day to give myself a break from celebrity drama at this hour. At this hour, I might do an afternoon video, and I might do it this afternoon. But I want you to stay focused with where I'm at, please. Okay. Uh, Hold on. Almost ready, and then I didn't add sea moss to my coffee. I put sea moss to my coffee every morning, everyone. Every morning. Dry sea moss to my coffee every morning. So if you can get some sea moss, I would suggest it because it really cleans out your gut and gets your bum moving. All right. Let's open up to chapter 4. I think it's page 113. And chapter 4 is gifted in physical healing. Gifted in physical healing. Let's take a look here. There you go. The people in this chapter use super physical means in helping others recover from sickness which have afflicted their bodies. Spiritual healing is done traditionally by laying on of hands. And practitioners of that ancient technique are included here, along with individuals who use prayer and other forms of spiritual intercession as means to effect actual physical changes, improving the health of the human body. Healers assisting in the curing of mental, emotional, and spiritual ailments are presented elsewhere in this book. So before we begin this book, I do want to tell you, which I don't even know how old this he has to be a young man. I wish I could speak with him, but it doesn't matter. My brother had a child that looked like he was born with cerebral palsy. Later, we discovered that my brother was abusing all of his children to get a welfare increase. But at the time, we didn't know this. And so the boy had his legs curled up. And it was announced that he had cerebral palsy. And cerebral palsy was big in Staten Island, had a big organization in Staten Island for anyone that had this condition. So the boy must have been, I don't know if he was like 18 months or something, and his legs were crawled up inside of him. And when you go to stretch the leg out, it would boomerang right back. So he definitely was going to have a deformity. And then Darren, his name is Darren. I got to find Darren. I got to figure out where Darren is. And then one day my brother, who's an odd fellow, came to a house party, which he never does. And here he brought crippled Darren. And I realized in hindsight, he only came to house parties to prove that the child had been born disabled, right? Later, I found out. And then he brings Darren. And I says, oh, I went to go hold Darren. I said, oh, hi, Darren. He just, laid right on my shoulder. And then I whispered to Darren. I said, Darren, you're going to walk. You're going to walk. And I started stretching out his legs. And it boomeranged right back. And I says, no, you're going to walk. You're going to walk. So I stretched out one leg. I stretched to the house. The party was packed with people. Stretched. I'm walking around the house party, holding this baby, stretching out his legs and telling this baby, you're going to walk, to the point where he passed out. I was young. I was in my early 30s. I was young. I didn't know I had the gift. I knew that there was something I could offer the baby. And the best I could offer was whispering in his ear and reminding every cell in his body that you are going to walk. Well, true to form, my brother didn't hang around the family. He was the odd one. I have come from a crazy family, but when you have somebody in your family that's odder than your crazy family, whoa. So he didn't come around the family a lot. And then my dad died. And we went to go pick up my brother and his family and the kids, his girlfriend and the kids, long-term girlfriend. And this little kid comes running out. And he's running, and you see him running. We're all sitting in the limo. And he goes to the first limo, nothing. Comes to the second limo. He doesn't look at me right away. And he looks at my sister, looks at my sister-in-law, Tab, and he's looking. And then he gets to me. And he goes, what's your name? And I go, Tracy. And he goes, hi, Tracy. And he gets in, and he sits next to me, and he's going off. He's just talking. He's so happy. I have no idea what this kid was talking about to this day. And my sister, and we hadn't left yet because we're still waiting for my brother. And my sister goes, he took a liking to you. And I was like, I know. Which one is this? Because my brother had a lot of kids, all disabled. I said, which one is this? And Terry goes, that's Darren. And I was like, you're Darren? And he nods his head like a little, 5-year-old would do. And I said, Darren, you can walk? And he nods his head like a little 5-year-old would do. And I thought, how could I have performed this miracle? How? How is this kid walking? Is it because of me? I'm not inside my ego, by the way, everyone. I'm saying I had a conversation with the 18-month-old boy that had cerebral palsy. And my expectation at the funeral was to see a little boy coming out on a wheelchair. And not only did this boy come running out, he was like, F you, Dad. I got to go find this woman named Tracy. I don't know her name, but I know what she looks like. And I take credit to this day. And I hope he turned out well, because it's just a weird dynamic that's been happening with that side of the family. So maybe I've got some research to do and research my little walking nephew. Back to the book. Oh, let me see what everybody is saying first. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Infinite. I mean, we suspected. We didn't know. I should have prefaced it with the rest of the story. Jesus Christ, I left you guys hanging. We suspected in the family that he was disabling his children, but we couldn't prove it, right? And when we did question him, and we're like, how do your kids come out normal and end up on Social Security and disability, right? Like all of them. Only the first one is fine. Anything after that, any child after that had a physical disability. And it just didn't make sense, right? In any case, finally he births another child. And I told my mom, I'm going to the hospital. Now I know I have a gift. And I said, I'm going to the hospital. And I will tell you whether or not that child is going to have a disability. You could see it in the eyes. You could see it in the head movement. They can't hold their head up. They can't focus. Like infants, you could tell from infancy how a child is going to turn out. Meaning, are they going to have a disability? Are they going to have autism? You could tell immediately, right? And so he gave birth to another child, and I ran there, waited no time. And I measured and I looked at the child, and I made a fatal mistake because I said to my brother, this one is normal. And I shouldn't have said that to him, right? He calls my mom, tells my mom off. How dare Tracy come to the hospital and tell me this is a normal one? So my mom relays the message. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to tell you right now, if anything happens to that child, I'm calling CPS. I said, because all of his children are disabled. He's getting a lot of money for disabled children. It doesn't make sense. No one has a family full of disabled children. It just doesn't work that way. One, yes. Two, possibility, especially if there's a real genetic code that the couple didn't know about. That I could see. But even by the second one, doctors would run all these tests and they would be like, no, you two cannot have children anymore because this is a genetic code that's bringing these children out, right? So two, yes. This man had like 5 kids, right? And I said, Mom, it's an impossibility. And I said, I promise you that child is normal. If I hear that something is wrong with that child, I'm calling CPS. It wasn't even enough months had gone by when my mom calls me and my mom says, there's something wrong with the baby. I forgot what she said was wrong with it. I don't remember, but I just felt so bad. And I was like, oh, Mom, I'm so sorry. And I hung up the phone, and I think secretly my mother wanted me to call. I don't know for sure, unconsciously. But I was like, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I hung up the phone. And without telling my mom my anger, I immediately called CPS. I immediately ratted on my brother and waited for a response. And a response came a few days later, and my mother was livid, totally livid. How dare you? How dare you? You tried to ruin your brother's life. CPS is there right now. And I was like, Mom, I didn't call. I did not call. And she goes, you did call. I said, Mom, no, I did not call on them. I did, but I decided to take the target off my back. And let me tell you, it worked. It worked. Nobody suspected. At some point, my mom had passed away. And it wasn't until she passed away that I tell the whole family that I did call, because that call made it known that my brother was doing something to those children. But I did not confess to it until both my mom and dad had passed. And my aunt, who she thought that we had a more intimate relationship, and she questioned me and she said, did you call CPS? And with a straight face, didn't even blink. I told her, absolutely not. And when I confessed to her after my mom died, she was the first one I confessed to. I said, I have to tell you something. I actually did call CPS on my brother. And she was a little shocked because she thought I wouldn't lie to her. And I says, no, I had every right not to tell you. If I'm not going to tell my mother, why should I tell you? I don't think she respected that I didn't tell her. Not that I called CPS. That wasn't a problem. But that I didn't tell her. Again, the weirdness of the family dynamic. It's like, what are you doing? I have my mother that I would have to confess to, not you. And I never confessed while she was living. And subsequently, my brother passed away. And it was one of the most unemotional events of our lives. My brother had been passed away for 5 years, and not a single family member knew it. My other brother finally got this feeling, and he was so uncomfortable, he went searching for him. And when he found him, his girlfriend, longtime girlfriend of these disabled children, announced that he was passed on. And I have to tell you, the stories that came after that, out of his death, was horrific. The abuse, the beatings, it was just disgusting what this woman went through, and her twin sister. In any case, anyhow, that's the story in my family. I'm telling you this because how I got to the story of healing my nephew, Darren, has everything to do with my brother, right? And this kid was not born cerebral palsy. I don't know. He must have been feeding the kid something, or maybe malnutrition could do it too. Oh, Angela, and when I tell you this is a very bizarre story, it's a true story. It's a story of my family, my brother, my DNA brother, and my adopted brother is the one that found him, but my adopted brother was more brother than my DNA brother. And it started out with my brother protecting his girlfriend, who also had a twin. And so they lived together. But at some point, he was abusive to the woman that was giving him children. And at some point, he was abusive to her sister. And they stuck together like glue. And at some point, they hated each other. And at some point, they both had children for my brother. I mean, that's how abusive and controlling this man was. Yeah. And so now I understand why he didn't come around family, because we come from a family of very strong women, right? We don't take no shit. And so if any of those girls had said, this is what I'm going through, all hell would have broke loose. But we didn't know. And the only indication that we knew something was wrong in this family was the birth of all of these disabled kids. It was just beyond belief. And so when I called CPS, I called CPS for discovery. Like, is there a way to find out that these disabled children are natural? Or is there abuse involved? And it wasn't until CPS got involved and my mama had died that we had discovery that there was a lot of bizarre things going on in that household in the form of control and abuse, and how the girls didn't think they had an out. It was bizarre. It was weird. Hence, he was dead for 5 years before we discovered that he even had passed. And that's what happens when you stay away from family, right? So it is what it is. Except for being sad for loss of life and the ability not to change your life over, this man got not one emotional tear from anyone. Again, the weirdness of my family. Not one of us shed a tear. Mm-hmm. It definitely was a sister wife situation, but not volunteer. Like, not volunteer. It was abuse. Well, there you have it. Another extension of my life, of my family life. Yeah. All right. Any more questions? Remember, I only brought this up to tell you how we all have the capability of healing others and healing ourselves. Remember, does anybody remember at the beginning? I think was it, I don't know, it was at the beginning of Conversations with God, and I had developed some carpal tunnel issue in my arm. And I was like, is there a cure for it? Like, and everybody was like, no, there's no cure for it. You're going to need an operation, da da da. And I said, no. I said, no. I am going to allow myself to cure carpal tunnel. It wasn't at an extreme stage. I was not over abusing the injury. And so every day I just put my left hand over my right hand and I just prayed on healing every single day. And when I was working at the hotel, if you guys remember, I was working at the hotel. I realized that if I stayed there, I would aggravate my carpal tunnel because I had asked my boss, I was like, listen, I'm 62. I want to work as a waitress. I can't bring the food out the way the young kids can. So we were in Home Depot together, and I was like, if I could get something like this where I could roll it out, hell, I'll pay for it myself. And she said she would consider it, but never did. And so sometimes I would bring the tray out and I would feel I had already healed it, but because it never really goes away, right? So I felt it getting aggravated again. And she wasn't offering health insurance. And I said, no part time job is worth a 61-year-old. At the time I was 60, a 60-year-old being injured. No part time job. I think I was 61 by this time. No part time job is worth it. And so, by God's gift, like, right? We got to listen to God. God is amazing. By God's gift, my car stopped working. So I called her up and I said, I can't come to work. My car's not working. And I won't be back until my car is working. And I said, if you want to save the job, save it. If you don't, I completely understand. Right. Well, my car wasn't working for like 2.5 months. And in that 2.5 months, I kept going over and over and over things in my head. And I came to the conclusion that God did not want me to work there. And for 2 months, it just aggravated me. And then I decided, I hear you, God. Because I have to tell you, that car wasn't going to get fixed until I made a better decision. And so once I made a better decision and I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I'm not going to go back to work. And I called her and I made the announcement, love you dearly, not coming back. And it was hard for her to hear. And so I had to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until it was clear to her that no, Don't save a spot for me. Don't keep my number open in the employee computer. Take me out. I'm good. I'm never coming back again. And I believe I saved my wrist. Because what do I do with my wrist? I shuffle cards with my wrist. So a part-time job was not about to ruin the very job that I love the most, which is tarot readings. There is a way that you can heal yourself, and then there's a way to listen to God. All right. This is why I should, well, wow. Hope they're all okay, children and the twin sisters. I haven't reached out to any of them. I don't have a telephone number. I don't have, like, that man was that controlling. We had my brother's number, but we didn't know anything about these girls. I think I'm going to ask my brother if he can check on them and let us know some updates. I think it's time to let them know, like, I'm sorry, we didn't get it fast enough. I'm sorry that we let y'all be abused. We didn't intervene. We didn't tell my brother, you're a piece of shit. And I want them to know that. I mean, I was telling my family, I don't think we had expressed it to my brother enough. Although I think he knew something, that's why he stayed away from us. I don't know. But yeah, I'll reach out to my brother and see what updates he can find. Thank you, Angela. All right, let's get to the reading. 113. And it starts out with, see that drawing on the wall. That was done by a tumor. When he tells of one case history, Peter Brown, psychic and healer, who works out of Chicago, adds that amusing note. The woman in this case had gone to the doctor, and the doctor told her she had a tumor that needed to be removed. She was seen by 5 physicians successfully. Each said it was a tumor. One did a sonogram. Finally, they said it was a baby and a tumor. The tumor was blocking the birth canal, so the baby could not come out. They were going to have to do a cesarean section. During the whole period of time, Spirit was saying, no, it's a baby. It's a boy. It has a mark on his forehead, and the name it's to be given is Manasseh. I sent her to a physician I knew. He examined her. I told her, don't let him tell you anything that I just told you, that Spirit said to her. Hold on a second, guys. Let me get my water. Hold on, guys. All right. Don't tell him anything I told you. He said to her, has anyone done a pregnancy test? No. He did the rabbit test. He called me the next day. She's pregnant. I said I knew that. She had a baby. She had a normal delivery, about an hour of labor. She had a boy and had a mark on his forehead, and they named him Manasseh. He was the one that drew that picture on my wall. James Ford was once church secretary at the Cathedral Temple of Divine Love, where Peter had his ministry. I met James years ago when we were teenagers, and then in our lives, we went one way. He went one way, I went another. I was on WSBC radio station one weekend on a 6 o'clock broadcast, which I had every Sunday morning. I got a phone call off the air. It was him. He had been at the county hospital and was over at the Hyde Park at the Y. Would I please come and see him? I said I would, and I did. He weighed all of 60 pounds. He was skin and bones. The story was he had too much to drink one night and went home to his father's house. He went into the bathroom and took what he thought was mouthwash. It turned out to be acid. He drank it, and it burned him all the way down the belly. They had to take out most of his stomach because he was so badly burned, and they had to make a new one. He had a hole right above his navel the size of a $50. It wouldn't close or heal, basically because it didn't have any reserves. The food he ate, the little quantity, was just enough to maintain the body. He didn't have anything to grow on. They were having problems with that wound. They couldn't get it to close. So one night, we were talking about it. He asked, "Would you ask the Lord about it?" So I did. Through inspirational writing, Peter drew a picture which showed how he and a few select individuals could help close Ford's wound. They told me to put my left hand on the back of the neck and the right hand over the hole. It was 9 o'clock at night. In 10 minutes, they, the spirit, would close it. When they said go, both my arms locked. I didn't know if you ever stuck your finger in a light socket and get a shock, but that's how it felt. Try that for 10 minutes. I couldn't get loose from him. When they said time was up, I released him. So we sat down and we were talking about how it felt, and that he felt an electrical tingling all over. And then we looked, and the hole had closed down to about the size of an eraser, and it was draining. He said, "Oh no, this can't be." We were looking at it. When he said, "It can't be," it stopped closing. And it stayed that little hole. And that was okay. We took him to the hospital with a couple of stitches. It was closed. After that, he started picking up weight. He was a marvelous secretary. One of Peter's goals is the creation of a 7-point star-shaped building, which would implement programs utilizing the information used from Spirit through the inspirational writing. The 7 units to be housed in the facility are concerned with healing, communication, child care, residential care for the elderly, a library, a school, and a hospital unit. Spirit has given me information on how to help children to develop. What you can do to reverse illness using music, color, using all the sciences and arts that people know about. They have given treatises on dietary principle food combination, even the kind of fabrics one ought to wear or not wear. Hold on a second. I need to document that real quick. Even the kind of fabrics one ought to wear or not wear. That's going to be critical. We're going to talk about fabrics in a minute, okay? Hi, C, the Purple Heart. Hi, sweetie. Peeler relates in another case history a healing accomplished by telephone. Healing can be done by telephone. Healing can be done by Zoom. I got a phone call from a lady who asked me if I would read for her daughter. Her daughter was an adult who was having epileptic seizures. They had been to one of the renowned clinics in this country, as well as to the hospital at the university, and were not able to find the causes of these seizures. So the woman discussed with her physician that some years before I had read for her and her mother and told them the things they needed to look for. They were successful. So she was saying to one doctor, let's try him and see what will happen. They called. The woman said to me, we have Peoria tonight about 9 and we will leave Peoria tonight around 9 and we will be there Chicago around 4 or 5 in the morning if you'll see us. I said no. We don't need to do that because there's no time. There's no space. I am where you are. You are where I am. We are all in one world and we can do this. I just needed the girl's name and she gave me the name and I did the reading. The reading said that the talc was the cause of these episodes. Oh, talcum powder, really? That talc and talcum powder. The mother then made a list of products that had talc in them. She came up with 41 products like rice, which is polished with it. What? With the isolation of talc as the triggering agent for seizures, Spirit advised that the daughter, hold on, came up rice? With the isolation of talc as triggering agent for seizures, Spirit advised that the daughter receive a minimum dose of a certain medication, and after that course of treatment, the illness would reverse itself and she would be okay. Her condition improved as Spirit indicated. A pregnant woman came to Peter in desperation before following through with a therapeutic abortion, which was medically recommended. Therapeutic abortion. Extensive testing showed that the fetus she was carrying was severely damaged and most likely dying. In the reading, the woman was given a list of instructions to which she must conform. She was to have her mattress turned away. She had to wear a green dress with polka dots on it and wear shoes only made of leather. Daily walks to be taken by her regardless of weather conditions. Dietary changes were prescribed by Spirit, which included that she eat a piece of bacon daily. What was stressed above all was that she should eat a bowl of plain oatmeal every single day. During the routing to the hospital admission, the fetus condition was noted as improved and the abortion canceled. A normal course of pregnancy progressed and the woman adhering to the instructions of Spirit. After an RH factor problem was discovered by her physician, she asked Peter to do another reading. The physician said the infant would need a blood transfusion immediately after birth. They, Spirit, said no blood transfusion. The baby is going to be perfectly normal, and that's that. When she delivered, they tested the baby, and there wasn't a thing wrong with the blood. But the thing about that child, says Peter, of the girl who was 13 or 14 years old in 1985, she can sit down and eat a box of oatmeal raw, and she loves it. There was something in a combination of oatmeal, bacon, leather shoes, walking in the outdoors, and some other things that turned the woman's whole system around. All right, so let me go back. And even the kind of fabrics ought to wear and not wear. I Synthetic fabrics are petroleum byproducts. Thank you. I have discovered that I have a awful allergy to, of course, polyester. Right? Do you remember polyester in the 70s? And everybody was sweating like shit because polyester doesn't breathe. It's a thick fabric. It doesn't breathe. It's an awful, awful fabric. It's awful. I don't buy anything that even has polyester blend in it. I have learned that there are other non breathable fabrics. And here's the thing that I learned from Spirit non breathable, non-breathable fabrics are the best and healthiest things that you and I can wear. So, 100% cotton is your jam. I don't care how it shrinks. I don't care. 100% fabric. If you are going through menopause, you need to be wearing breathable fabrics, and you will go through menopause just fine. That's what I discovered. Your sheets need to be cotton, period. They don't need to be pretty. They need to be cotton, 100% cotton. Your towels need to be 100% cotton, not in between. I've also discovered that you could have on a breathable fabric, but if you have on something on your body non-breathable, it cancels out the breathable. So that comes down to your underwears, ladies. Even your underwears need to be cotton. And I know that sounds crazy because cotton does not last wash after wash. Then just keep buying underwear. The best time to buy underwears is during school, um, just before school begins in late July, early August, because the manufacturers will always put in the extra underwear for the parents. So that's when you buy underwear too. Um, Let me see. What are non breathable fabrics, materials? Breathable fabrics allow air to pass through easily. It doesn't become too warm, doesn't become too uncomfortable. Cotton is a natural breathable material. Why is my you can use it? Cotton is a breathable fabric. Linen is, silk is, wool is, of course. Um, they're saying rayon. Does anybody know if that's true? The degree to which fabric allows moisture vapor to be transported through it. Breathable fabrics become even more important for comfort once you start sweating. Polyester is non breathable. It's not good. This is so annoying. Co- uh, Cotton, of course, linen, flowing silk, bamboo, or Lidocell. I never had a bamboo product. But on my bed, I have a bamboo uh, cover for my what do you call it when you cover your bed in something? Mine is bamboo. Wool. They says stylish wool. What the fuck is that? Just wool. Polyester is a synthetic fabric that doesn't breathe well. That means it will trap heat and moisture against your skin, making you feel hot and sticky. Nylon, like polyester, is a synthetic fabric that doesn't allow your skin to breathe. Plus, nylon is often used in tight fitting clothing, which can make you feel even hotter. Another no go. Lycra is a stretchable fabric that is often used in athletic clothing. However, it is also very hot and uncomfortable in warm weather. So when you're starting to feel the heat, let go of your lycra clothing items and start wearing something cooler. Wool is a great fabric for cold weather. It is not ideal for hot weather. Wool is thick and heavy, which makes it trapping heat and causing you to sweat. So avoid it in warm weather, but it's perfect for um, the winter. So I have to tell you all, look at your material. I've also learned as of lately that I could wear a cotton top. And you know those biker shorts? I don't know how they're made, and I'm too tired to get up. But now I'm recognizing that I could wear a cotton top, which I do. I have a lot of cotton. My bottoms are not necessarily cotton. As of lately, I've been noticing that if I wear a bottom that's made of nylon, because it's stretchable, they make it look cute, and I have on a cotton top, it's not going together. And it's my understanding that wearing something nylon cancels out the breathable material. But anything synthetic, I don't care what they do to it, not cool. Rayon wood pulp. All right. Just be careful with that. Yes, pretty much anything not man made. All right. Cotton, linen, silk are vibrational. That's a good word, sweet. It's a vibrational fabric. So, those of you going through menopause, start learning to not buy something because it's pretty or it's cute. No, start looking at clothes that can help you to feel comfortable all day. And so, cotton, cotton, cotton. Remember that. Cotton, 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 cotton. And when you go to bed at night, you need cotton sheets and you definitely need cotton pajamas. If you don't have cotton pajamas during menopause, you're going to die. It's going to be that hot. That's the first thing I want to look at. The second thing I want to look at, the mother made a list of products that had talc in them. She came up with 41 products like rice, which is polished with talc. Did anybody know this? I don't eat rice anymore. I used to crave rice, but I can't eat it anymore. Does rice get polished with talc to make it look whiter? Rice polishers are used after the rice has gone through the whitening process. They are abrasive machines that use talc or some other fine dust to puff the outer surface of rice kernels. Oh my God. The use of talc on white rice creates a whiter appearance. And Japanese rice distributors use talc frequently. What? Do they put talc in rice? There was a time when all white rice was processed with talc, a mineral composed of hydrated magnesium silicate, to give it a whiter, cleaner appearance. Back then, rice needed a rinse to remove this talc. This is gross. How to identify rice that has been polished? Polished rice has no fiber content as it is removed during the process. The rice which is unpolished has a darker look. It will not look like milk rice. Is that brown rice? What foods contain talc? Oh my God. Rice and chewing gum. Well, now they're saying around the world consider purified talc safe for human consumption. Oh my God. Is talc okay to eat? Food grade talc that you would find in products such as chewing gum. I guess that white powder recognized as safe by the US FDA. But we also know the US FDA will have formaldehyde in our products, and they will approve that. What happens if I don't reduce the talc? There's some amounts of arsenic in rice. Arsenic is a heavy metal that can harm you. Oh, Lord. All right, I'm upset. And again, I can only tell you what God tells me to do. And the minute I got to the Caribbean, I didn't eat a lot of rice anyway, but I could eat a lot of rice, is what I'm saying, right? I come from rice country. It's what we do here, it's a staple. However, the minute I got here, I was ordered by spirit not to eat rice. Ordered. And since I've been here, I had a craving for rice maybe twice. And the second time I had a craving for rice, listen to this, I had a craving for rice in this little thing in the corner, right? A lot of places here, they're all dives, right? But they have the best food. So this little thing in the corner had the best rice and chicken, whatever, right? And it's a series of stores, and the chicken place is at the end, at one end, and a washer and dryer, a big washer and dryer, was at the other end. And one day I had a reading with a client, and I'm not sure what the reading was about, but we went on to, oh, she had just gotten a new job, and her job was to measure the amount of chemicals that comes out of buildings, right? And goes into the pipeline so that the community doesn't get affected by companies that are purposely seeping chemicals into the pipelines of people's homes. And she said, just like you have those washing machine places, and there's a food, like a Chinese place like this, right next door to it. She said the pipeline all match. They don't separate lavanderia washing places in the pipeline. So you're sharing the same pipeline as a washing machine place. And she goes, my job would be to shut down the food place because the way the pipeline is set up. And she goes, and back in the day, all these considerations weren't available. And when she said that to me, I said to her, so there's this place that I go to. The washing machine is on the end. In between are 2 hair salon places and a nail salon. Water, water, water. To remember, we're talking about a wash and a big washing machine place that right next door is a hair salon. Another hair salon. A nail salon. Then there are other stores. And then the very last store is a food place to get chicken and rice. And I said to her, I said, so are you telling me that if I order chicken and rice, I'm getting water from the laundromat? And she said to me, I wouldn't eat there anymore. And I said, damn, I got you. I hear you. It will never happen. It's been over a year. I have spoken to her since, and I have dedicated my life to never eating there again. And I tell, every time she calls me, I'm like, still not eating there. Still not eating there. But also, Spirit told me to give up rice. And now that I realize that there's this finishing, listen, food grade or no food grade, what the hell is talc being mixed in to make white rice look whiter? What the hell is that? So my advice to you all, why are we all here together? I don't know. I don't know who likes rice, who doesn't like rice. I'm warning you. I'm warning you. Rice may not be your best friend for many reasons, right? Because rice turns to sugar. So diabetics should not be eating rice, period. Also, pasta is not your tribe of people. If Italians like pasta, let Italians eat pasta. No. Once in a while, perfect. All I do is eat pasta. No, that's not the tribe of food for Black folks. To be honest with you, I don't believe that rice is our tribe either. And so when I got here, rice and beans is a staple. White rice is a staple. No, 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 no. I will not eat rice. And the more I've given up rice, the more I don't have the craving for it. And now that I hear it may be washed in talcum powder, are you fucking kidding me? No. No. All right, let me see what everybody is saying. Rayon, semi-synthetic, made of wood, but put through chemical processes. Anything synthetic, I would be a problem with me. Rayon made of wood pulp. All right. Rice processing has changed. I don't know, child. Use brown rice or wild, not really rice. Oh, wild is not really rice? I do love me some wild rice, though. The other day, I was with Richard, and there was a bag of black rice. What do you think is in black rice? Because I was like, now that I could switch to. So I'm going to look that up. Always read your labels and do research on your food products and their manufacturers. Right. Yeah, I don't believe in the within safe limits because they put arsenic in our food. They put formaldehyde in our food, and USDA says it's safe. But what we keep forgetting is that what is safe, it's meaning if you eat it once in a while. Like, we don't eat like that as fat Americans. Food grade level safe means if you eat it once. Well, if you eat it once, it's not going to kill you. But if you're a rice eater every day using talcum powder, and then you're wondering that there's cancer in my family or that there's this in my family, it's because of what you're eating. And that has nothing to do with being fat. That has nothing to do with being overweight Americans. It has everything to do with we'll just stuff any shit in our mouths. And we have to stop that. We have to go on a real diet against bad foods. Didn't I tell you I did an experiment? I didn't do it on purpose. One of the old ladies that I hang out with, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I was like, all right. What are you going to do? I'm not joining you. She's like, come on, Tracy, give something up. So I was like, oh, I always have to figure if God is talking to me through people. So I was like, oh, God, again. And I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll give up bread. I gave up bread for 40 days. When I gave up bread, I gave up bloating. I had to notice for the first time that bread bloats me. I gave up bread. And then Sky had a session that she did for 10 days. And I gave up anything that had white flour in it. And once again, there was less bloating. Now, I've since gone back, not to bread necessarily, but I have had a sandwich or two. But one of the things that I notice is that I love making tuna fish salad or egg salad, and I eat it with crackers. And the crackers are not helping me. I picked up on that recently. All right. Hey, Sky, I just talked about you. I found organic white rice, and it's not a pure white color, more like a cream color instead. Okay. Beautiful conundrum. Sky says, I caught you all. Yes. How you doing? Angela says, also, another company, One Mighty Mill, makes stone milled flour, like how flour made back in the old days. That's not bleached. Yeah, I don't like flour. I don't like anything flour. I'm not sure flour, listen to what I'm saying, Angela. I'm not sure flour is for our tribe of people. When I say tribe, if they didn't have flour in Africa, I'm not doing it. Nope. If they did not have flour in Africa, that's what I mean by our tribe of people. I'm not doing flour no more. I'm trying to think. I don't even keep flour in my house anymore. When I fry my chicken, I do not fry it with flour. I coat it heavy with onion powder and garlic powder, and I use it like a shake and bake. And then I drop it in grapeseed oil. But grapeseed oil is something I learned from my people, right? Y'all taught me about grapeseed oil, and that's exactly what I use for cooking. No canola, no vegetable. Olive oil can't take the heat. So you can't put olive oil with that much heat. But grapeseed oil, but I also don't fry anymore, so. But I did feel like some fried chicken wings the other day. All right, I might make some. Oh my God, that makes me sick to my stomach. I'm glad you stopped eating from there. Right. Well, I learned from my client. One thing I'm going to do first is I'm going to learn from you all. I have to trust that a client is coming to me. I think I'm helping them. You all are helping me. It is give and take. I am not trying to be like, listen to me and just me. When that client said what she did for a living, and she was an accent, she's like, for example, a wash and fold place. If there is a Chinese restaurant next to it, don't eat from there. And I was like, oh my God, what? And I have to trust that God has brought this client in for me to heal her, but her words healed me. I'm not crazy. I know the difference. hmm And every time I give her an update, I'm like, I do not eat from there. hmm Yes, my doctor told me rice is not for me. Oh, and what have you done since, Infinite? Because a lot of times we get told things subtle. No one's trying to hold your hand, beat you over the head with this. Sometimes it's just subtle. Sometimes your doctor just goes, yeah, don't do rice. And he moves on to another body part that he needs to discuss with you. What have you been doing since? What about rice water for hair? Unless you are from that culture, I do not believe in rice water for hair. But that's just me. If you can prove me wrong, which I haven't seen videos of rice water being perfect when you all discovered that there's a whole tribe that does rice water. But, all right, Lord have mercy. Rice water for hair. What culture does this? Some people in China and Japan have long used rice water on their hair to enable it to grow longer and to stop it from turning gray. Interesting. But more research is necessary. Rice water is the starchy water left over after rice is cooked or left to soak. What cultures use rice water? China, Japan, Southeast Asia. Fermented water rice is rich in antioxidants, minerals such as calcium, magnesium, blah, 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 blah. What culture is rice water from? China and the Tang Dynasty. Does rice water grow African American hair? It can help to promote healthy hair growth by providing essential nutrients to the scalp and the hair follicles. This is Google, by the way. I'm not in agreement. Um, I would say, I would say, I thought there was a culture in Africa that also used rice water. Let me see something. So I'll do more research, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, I would never sell rice water on my site. I personally do not believe in rice water. I do not believe it comes from my culture. My culture. And when I say my culture, I'm going back to pre American, right? I would say if you want to grow your hair, God's honest truth, shampoo, condition your hair, and make a mixture of burdock, nettle, and sage. Boil it, and it could be powder, it doesn't really matter. Boil it, let it cool, and it's the last thing you should put on your hair before um, drying it. So, wash your hair with shampoo, condition your hair, rinse out the conditioner, and the last thing you should put on your hair is the sage nettle combo. Now, that truly is for people that have brown black hair. If you have your hair colored blonde, um, natural blonde, just for black folks, natural blonde, you color your hair blonde, this isn't going to work for you because it will turn your hair green. But my mama used this with a little bit of boric acid. My mom had the gift, the kitchen gift, and she did it on our hairs as we were kids. And as a grown ass woman, this is the reason why my hair is so thick. So if you have hair that's falling out and you want to stop it, this is not medical. Make this concoction, put it on your hair, and do it every single time and look at it again in 6 months. But if you do something like that, I would also, if your hair is falling out, I would also encourage eating Nature's Made biotin with 2,500 milligrams of biotin. I would eat that also for 6 months. And to add to the subtle nature, I would use Tracy Brown's rosemary oil. That's what I would do if I had a real problem with my hair. People that have blonde hair, I would not suggest it, but you can still eat biotin and you can still buy my Azon rosemary biotin oil. All right. Other than that, no, no, I would not rinse my hair in rice water. But if anybody has done it with the DNA of Africa, let me know because I would be interested in testimonies. What? You don't go to eat to any establishment next to funeral homes or mortuary homes? I never even thought about it, child. Ugh, that is so scary. Hold on. Let me go back up. Yes, my doctor told me not to eat rice. So I want to know, what have you done since then? What about rice water for hair? No. Once I eat rice, I am in a coma. What does that mean, sweetie? I know you're being facetious, but does it mean you're lazy? What does it mean? Because it could be the chemicals from the talc powder. I eat Caribbean potato and squash. I love Caribbean potatoes. There is a pasta made of vegetables. I'm gluten intolerant, so I can eat wheat products. Okay, agreed. I do jasmine rice, and I've been doing quinoa and couscous. All right. Hi, Sky, says Infinite. I eat Simple Mills almond flour crackers. They have different flavors, rosemary and sea salt, etc. They are so good. Almond crackers? I've never even heard of almond flour crackers. I never even heard of it, but I certainly will look for it. Send me a picture, Angela. Beautiful Conundrum says, "Hey, Infinite." Angela says, "I don't eat or go to any estate." Okay, I ain't never even heard of that. I happen to notice most funeral homes are standing off on their own. Have you guys noticed that? Most funeral homes are technically not next to place. Have you guys noticed that? Maybe there's a piping reason for that. Sweets Water says rice is not for everybody. I understand, Angela. Um, and Sage says, I do use sage water. Oh, C says, I do use sage water. We'll add burdock, nettle, and a little bit of boric acid. I don't know what the boric acid is for, but that's what my mama used to do. And all she did was grow our hair. Oh, and you know what she did by doing that? It wasn't that our hair was long, but it was thick. This concoction will thicken your hair. Let me tell you something. My mama might have been crazy, but she wasn't that crazy. Oh, look at this. Hi, Lisa. I didn't even see you there. And Angela says, going back now, they're trying to poison us with synthetic fabrics in our clothes. I even cotton sheets are getting real hard to find. Yes. Yes. Cotton sheets are getting real hard to find. Yes. All right, everyone. I'm ready to stop here. We had a great conversation over rice water. Um, and all that good stuff. Um, Remember, everyone, I think a lot of our conversations is trying to get you to understand that there is a crisis coming. And I feel like we are all being trained to modify what we eat because a famine could be coming, not to scare you all, but it's already in place. So if you have to give up certain things like rice, which is a craving more than a food that is nutrient, I think that learning to give up a lot of things is going to save our lives because there's a famine coming. So it is what it is. Not to scare everyone. I don't believe in scaring people. I'm just saying, yes, we talked about bamboo sheets. We talked about it. I have, you know how you have a cover for your mattress? I have a bamboo cover for my mattress. And on IG, somebody was selling linen sheets and bamboo sheets. And you just have to learn, they're expensive, but you might have to learn to preserve them and, wash with care. But, oh, you text me the picture? Thank you, sweetie. Oh, okay, guys, I'm going to make a guava cucumber drink today. I will let you know how it comes out. And I didn't get it, Angela. I will let you know how it comes out. All right. My antennas are down. I have a reading at 11:30, and that is that. I hope today helped. What was the topic today? It was healing. 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 Guys, heal thyself through food. Do not trust the food that we are asked to eat. Heal thyself through food. So start figuring out your tribe, right? And I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm saying, tell me what you've had to learn to decrease, right? My discovery was bread. And now it has to, I know it's crackers. I know my allergy is white flour. I already know it. So I'm just going to have to give up white flour items altogether eventually, one day, someday, soon. Oh my God. Oh, thank you, Angela. Almond flour crackers. Oh my God. Oh, maybe I can get it from Walmart. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Angela. I'm going to look at Walmart. Sounds, yeah, I know, beautiful conundrum. Guava and cucumber. I'm going to try it. I will let y'all know, but I'm about to chow down and drink me some. I'm going to try it. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with me, being part of this channel. Thank you for learning. Again, your tribe is not white flour unless you got some Asian blood. But there are these dark-skinned women. Have you seen them? These dark-skinned women with hair down to their, ankles. I thought maybe they're Middle Eastern. I thought they were African, but I can't find them. If I find them, we'll talk about it next week. I know they use rice water in here, but I don't know who they are. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'll find it. I got to get these crackers, child. All right. I love you guys. Take it easy. Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown